This is the problem area of my exhaust on the 7.3 right now. It's obviously a smaller pipe into a larger pipe. It has this big expanded flange on the end. I'm honestly not sure the size, but this is what takes the down pipe to the diameter of the straight pipe. I'm wanting to say it's around 4 inches, maybe a little bit bigger. I know it's definitely bigger than 3 inches for sure, so I'm guessing around 4. But as you can tell, this is super disgusting, so we're going to have to clean it really well, and I'm going to weld it right around here, because this piece is never going anywhere. I mean, I know that much for a fact. This piece is specifically for this exhaust. I have no idea how it has stayed in this long without a single weld, because I know it's moved around in the past, because it used to actually be up in the pipe, and it is now flush with it, so I know it has moved in the exhaust. And obviously that's a problem. Then up here they have put slits in the pipe to expand it large enough to take the down pipe. We're going to put welds around those slits to seal it, because I'm tired of the exhaust coming into the cab. So with all that being said, first thing we're going to have to do, we got to get this old U-bolt, U-clamp or exhaust clamp off. Then we're going to take a wire wheel with the drill, and we're going to clean it up decent enough. I'm not going to get it perfect, because I mean, look at it, it'd take me forever. So we're going to get it good enough, and then we're going to start trying to attack this thing and get it knocked out. Also, once again, I am sorry for the poor lighting. It is pretty bright in here. It's just not bright in the spot I'm in. But due to all the vehicles that are in here, I can't really move location. So, kind of got to make the best of it. I will do something to make it better. As of right now, I really can't. But I promise, next time we film with this, I will make a change so the lighting is better, because I know it is dark. And as you can see, this clamp really was just for looks, because it's not tight whatsoever. So I'm not really sure what it was even doing. I do know the down pipe has quite a bit of like tack welds on it. There's no real beads, there's no seams, it's just a bunch of little dots of weld here and there all over it. So I'm guessing maybe that's what was actually holding the down pipe in place, and the clamp was just kind of for show. But like I said, I didn't do it, so I'm not 100% sure. There we go. Give me a second, I'm going to grab a light, and hopefully that'll help y'all see what I'm looking at a little better. There you go, you can kind of see that cut right there. And there's cuts like that all around it. So we're just going to seal those, and we're going to weld this seam here completely around. But first things first, we got to clean it. Clean it as good as we can anyway. This truck, as far as like oil and soot goes, is horrible. It's one of the... I've never been around any others like it. This is the worst I've ever personally had to encounter as far as a diesel truck. But then again, it is also one of the older ones as well. So, I mean, you can kind of take that in a few different directions. But it does also have a pretty good oil leak behind the intake. The back of the intake, the gasket's blown, so it does leak oil too. So that's also a big part of why it's so nasty. But what I'm going to attempt to do, I'm going to put a little bit of diesel in a container. We are going to wet some paper towels with it, use that to break up all that sludge and oil. And then after that, I will hit it with some brake clean. Then after the brake clean, hopefully we'll be good to go as far as welding goes, and we won't start too big of a fire. But I do know if we don't get a lot of this wet oil off, it's not going to matter what we do, it's going to light up anyway. Alright, got us some paper towels. And these are shop towels. They're actually cloth, they're not paper. I'm not sure if y'all have ever seen them, but for the price, I think they're some of the best shop towels I've ever bought. They're 12 bucks for 6 rolls. You can get them at AutoZone. With this one, I'm just kind of trying to get it wet to start breaking all that down. But you can tell which side was on the top and which was on the bottom. The bottom of this actually don't look too bad. But the top is quite that actually worked better than I expected. You can see it took a lot of the oil off. I mean, of course, it's still a black pipe, but a little less than a minute ago, it was a lot worse because it was sludge instead of just being black. But I just probably going to put y'all into a time lapse here, and I'm just going to keep hammering away on this until we get it good enough to work with. What these are grime wipes. I'm using them to help start getting rid of the diesel, and then we'll hit it with the brake clean, and that'll be that. But these grime wipes really break down grease and oil very well. Got them at Tractor Supply, and to be honest, I'm gonna buy them again. Kind of like those paper towels or cloth shop rags. Bought them on a whim, ended up really liking them, and now I know they're the only type of towel I will ever buy, especially for the shop. Maybe if we end up running through them quickly, I may end up buying the boxes of them, but for now, that little 6-roll pack for 12 bucks, I personally like quite a bit. I'm not sure about my business partner, but at the same time, he hasn't complained, so I'm assuming he probably feels close to the same way, because for the price, they're really not bad towels, man. Just like these grime wipes, you can get two packs of the grime wipes for 15 bucks, and 2 packs, don't quote me on it, but I believe they're around 100 per pack, so you get 200 wipes for $15, $16. I mean, as you can see, they're breaking down this stuff better than the diesel fuel did, so they're definitely doing good. Alright, now what we're going to do is wipe off our tools here because they got filthy as well. Take this diesel fuel and get rid of it. Wipe off my hands once again. Now we're going to take this wipe, try to clean up as much as the diesel fuel as we can that got on the cart. we'll hit the cart with some brake clean as well. So, and if it does go, we do have a fire extinguisher. We have a couple in the shop. We will be able to put it out. And if it goes real big, it is on a steel surface. I'll just get rid of the power tool. My drill, I'll grab the drill, get it off the cart, open the door, and just let it burn itself out. Diesel fuel and gasoline, once they're gone, there's nothing left to burn. There's no longer a very big problem. Alright, so at this point we're going to start with our drill again. Or, well, I can't say again because we haven't done it yet, but alright, so what we're going to do now is, you obviously can't weld rusted metal. We're going to start hitting all this to get it clean so we can weld it. I'm taking off more than I need to up here, but that's because we are going to be welding the down pipe back onto this. We're not going to use a clamp. We want it to actually be put together. How well y'all can tell, but this definitely just wasn't even put together evenly, not even remotely close to even. Alright guys, it's the next day. The camera ended up dying. I'm sure you can tell there's a significant difference here. I got everything cleaned, at least as much as I'm probably going to. There's still a little bit of stuff there, but I'm hoping we can burn through that, and it's just a little bit of surface rust. I mean, yeah, I know I could do better. I know I could make it look better, but it also would take me a very long time to get it any better than it is currently. So, sorry about the background noise too, by the way. It is, I guess, hailing. They're, I don't know, probably about buckshot size, the size of a ball that's in buckshot. Small marble. But for now, this is what we got. I'm going to go ahead and get this weld done, and we're going to weld up all these cuts up here, and we're going to go from there. So, probably going to put you on the time-lapse mode, and we're going to get this knocked out. Oh yeah, look at her. Look at her pushing that smoke out. Definitely oil in there. But there ain't much we can really do about it other than try to just roll with it. I'm going to try turning down the voltage a little more and see what happens. Well folks, I think we just ran out of welding wire. You can see, well I'll show you afterwards, but these welds are not turning out very well. That oil getting pushed out into it's not helping. But it should seal it up better than it is currently either way, so we're just going to keep rolling with it. 2 minutes ago. And as you can see, all this oil that's getting burnt out of there, it's not enjoying it. But when it comes down to welding dirty shit, sometimes you just got to go for it and hope the results are at least good enough to manage, which, like I said, it really isn't that important, or I would have went a little further with trying to clean it. But for what it is, it'll be just fine. And I mean, I'm definitely going to hit it with a grinder, in other words, but it should do the job that I'm asking it to do at the very least. Any of y'all that know what you're doing, you can tell by the sound of these weld that it's not a very good one. But for what I'm trying to weld through, I mean, it'll be alright. I know it's not great, I know it's not perfect, but then again, this isn't a new exhaust either. And if it was, I would care quite a bit more. And the fact I always work on my own stuff, really ain't nobody ever gonna see it anyway. And no, that doesn't mean I don't care. It just means I'm making do with what I got, making the best of a bad situation, and at the end of the day, it'll do the job I'm wanting it to do. Which is keep this soot, keep the exhaust inside the pipe and not in the cab. Oh, that could have been better, it could have been worse, but for now it's good enough. So we're going to go ahead and slide it back a little. We're going to try to hit this tip up here everywhere that it's been cut. This part here is fairly straight, so I'm going to hit it now, then we're going to stop, and we're going to try to get this part of the pipe put back into shape and go from there. But for now, we're going to go ahead and hit this. I could slow down the wire. There we go. Now we're going to look back up to the top here, see if there's any areas that yeah, right there's a hole. We'll go ahead and tap that. Alright, I think that's good enough is good enough. Go ahead and pull that off. Shut down our Julio. Now I'm going to let this cool so I don't destroy the flap disc. If y'all have ever used a flap disc while welding, anything that's hot just eats them up, man. So we're going to go ahead and let this cool down for a little bit. And after that, we'll hit it with the grinder. But before that, I'll go ahead and show y'all these welds. So, not great, not horrible, could be better. I just knocked both the lights off. Give me a second here. There you go, you can kind of see them a little better. These are just rough. They are very rough. But, like I said, with all that oil, there wasn't much we could do about it, so. Here, let me wipe off this lens here. Taking some of that welding fog got on it because it's kind of blurry. There we go. It's a little better. But yeah, that's that. So, like I said, yeah, I added that to the welding helmet there. The inserts ended up falling out probably a year ago. So I just took one of my orange toboggans and just sewed it onto the strap. But anyway, like I said, we're going to let it cool, come back, hit it with the flap disc, and she should be ready to go back in the truck. Well, other than the downpipe, but that'll be another day. So, I'll show you after we get her cleaned up. Alright, so, as you can see, I ground it. I'm not really worried about how good or bad it looks. The only other thing I'm going to do is probably put a little paint where I ground it down to bare metal to keep it from rusting. But, accomplished what I wanted to accomplish. And, the camera pole doubles as a light holder, especially with the magnetic light. So, guess with all that said, thanks for watching Self-Taught Garage. It's up to you all in the comments if y'all think we should change the name to match the business, which is C&W Motorsports. Let me know. Other than that, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll see y'all on the next one. And I'll be sure to film when I do put the exhaust in finally. Other than that, later.